Anybody else got anything?
I wanted to check with Magistrate Bishop for next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for emergency services meeting. Fine. Okay. So duly noted. Thank you very much. And I'll contact PD to get a page out everyone. So 7 o'clock, third floor.
Did you find out anything on the legality of the?
I sent you all an email
Yeah.
this afternoon. I don't know if you all had time to look at it.
Yeah, I saw it, and looks like we have some things to ponder, so.
Yeah. I'll give you all time to look at it so you can have some questions.
Yeah.
There's basically, there's several things for us to consider. First of all, I think a couple things. One, there would be a question of whether or not it could be grandfathered in, because I need to look and see when that road was accepted into the system. I did not have a chance to look at that, because I think it probably would have been before the ordinance was drafted. I would assume. I get to look at the map to see when it was. But obviously there would be a concern with it being in the county road, or liability with it being in there. I did not get to talk to Mr. Tucker, but his attorney contacted me. His attorney said he was willing to pay for materials. Now, I do not think that we would be able to use public funds to pay for a private benefit. So that's one concern. He did agree he would be willing to pay for materials for that. I still have concerns about the liability of that. I did not get to finish researching whether or not he's grandfathered in, because that was there whenever the county road was, or whenever it was accepted into the system. The other thing is that the court decided to remove the cattle guard. I think there would be an issue that we would have to provide him notice so that he could take care and have his cattle where he could properly contain them, because if they were in a situation that they were running at large, there could be liability for him and as well potentially the county, because if they were out and someone was struck or they struck a vehicle, then there could be potential liability for us as well. So I think we have to give them notice for that as well. So there's several issues to ponder that I think we need to look at.
Yeah, the only question on the grandfather issue I have is that I understand the concept and the principle of the grandfather clause, okay? But with that being said, even if it was done pre-ordinance, the county paid for, evidently, and I'm going on assumptions here, okay?
See, I don't know if it was how it was accepted or under what
Well,
circumstances.
yeah,
either.
that's right. So we would assume that for some reason, whatever 40 years ago or whatever that was done by the county, that obviously to me, the grandfather clause would not come into effect here, just due to the fact that it was the county that provided utilized the funds to put that in and so forth. So I don't see how that one cattle guard could grandfather in. It's not his.
Well, see,
So-
I don't know what the agreement was.
Right.
So that's what I want to look at.
And I
is to
doubt if
see
you ever
what-
find an agreement, I'm sure it was probably done without an agreement, more than likely.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
I will agree with you that if the county decides to remove it or to pay whatever we move forward that I do agree that we should provide him with adequate notice to, as far as being fair, provide adequate notice to allow him a certain amount of time to.
I don't think you'll find an agreement.
No, I don't think you will either. I think,
So,
I don't either. It's something that happened years ago.
right.
It may have been a handshake agreement, but you won't find one on paper.
I don't think the county put them
I
in.
will look to double check and see when it was sent, and because when I sent you all some of the, so that you all can review that as
Okay.
well.
I've read through a few of those, so I mean, they're all different.
Well, the
So-
cattle guard is the one reason, it's for convenience, is to keep them open the gate.
Right.
That's all it's for.
Well, but the problem is, if I understand correctly, and I haven't physically been out there, is if the road continues on, it really wouldn't be a situation you could put a gate up because the road continues on, I
Well, no,
believe.
right.
I don't know how it's set up.
You're
I
right.
don't-
He cannot put a gate up, obviously, because it's a county road. And I can attest to that.
So I don't know how the land.
I can assure you can't do that.
Would have to fence down both sides. I mean, that's the only way
I don't know
to.
how his land is laid out.
There's no fences going to it, is there?
He owns,
He has one,
he owns every
fences
bit
going
of
to it now.
the property.
Yeah, I don't know how it is set up, but sufficient, if it is determined by the court that it would be removed, we would have to provide him sufficient notice so that he would have time to take care of that. If it remains, we would not be able to use our funds to
Right.
put that cattle guard in, because it would be for private benefit.
This issue came up about 8 or 9 years ago when Wayne King was the transportation director, and there was a child in that last house. The bus or transportation could not cross the cattle guard because it does not have a tonnage rating, and the parents had to bring the child out beyond the cattle guard to get the child to a school.
You're exactly right.
And so, that home was, I guess, maybe a minute home. I don't know if it's even occupied now, it is, but that's the real issue. I don't know how many total houses on it, but I know that terminal point at the end was a complicating issue because the child had to get across the cattle guard. Kind of like the bus that had to let kids off the bus across the bridge and the kids get back on.
It's kind of a nuisance, wasn't it? That was,
Not only was it all the fellows' experience, I think
A little bit of problem too, that kid, if he comes across that cattle guard and breaks his neck or leg, who's liable?
So I mean, obviously, I know I got that information, so you all can have time to review that, and if you all have other questions, I'd be more than glad to look
well,
at it. I will-
you research it on your end, next court meeting,
I printed it out if y'all need copies of it, so.
Well, it-
She sent it.
yeah, I sent it
It's-
to each
okay.
person too as well.
And they said there's no
You got it
fences to
printed
that
out?
cattle guard, so
My
it's not
understanding
keeping any cattle or
is
anything in now.
there's fences leading up to the cattle guard on each side, but I don't know that, I've not been out there.
One don't have a fence coming to it, it's just sitting there in the middle of nowhere.
And the other one does.
In fact, we blacktopped up to it
Stop.
because we didn't go across it. Joe told us that we shouldn't go across cattle guard.
So it might be good for us to run out there.
I don't remember how it was, to be honest with you. I went out there with Tommy, because I didn't know the road was even.
Well, Master Wicker, how is it,
What it
Master
was.
Wicker? I mean,
Huh? The
There's-
cattle guards?
yeah, there's 2 of them, right?
There's 2 on Marlow Lane, there's one on Gribbins Lane, the one that's down to be blacktopped. And I'd like for you to go across the one on Gribbins Lane, 20 mile an hour. See what you got left when you get across it.
I'll ride out there this weekend.
Huh?
I only discussed the one on Ribbons Lane with Mr. George.
Yeah, there's 2 on Marlow Lane, so that
Oh, is that the attorney?
if we do this, they're gonna come up in a year or 2 to be paved too. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's an issue that has to be resolved because you want to pave the road, so.
yeah.
Thank you
In
very
the
much.
back is one that's having some issues that lives back there, that's
Huh?
the guy that lives at the very end of Gribbins Lane that's came in and complained, so, about the potholes in the road, so that's the problem right there.
Does he own that property or do you know?
Does.
He rents it.
I'm pretty sure he owns it.
He rents it from Evertuck or Tommy Tuck, I believe.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we can find out.
We'll find
verify
out.
it, Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Rents it, doesn't he? He rents it.
Anybody else got anything?
we're gonna pay the bills, then I have something after the bills are paid.
Motion to pay the bills with additions.
Second.
Now, what do you have, Master? We got to take a
Get a
vote.
vote, John, let's get a vote.
I'm just, no.
Ms. Gilder?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Marshall?
Yes,
Yes.
I'd like to indulge the court to let me use my make a difference money, I'll call it, the large sum of money, $10,000, to do some structural
Do what?
repair to the daycare center, give it to the daycare to repair it. And I'd also ask for $2,000 of my community project money to to give to the daycare for other reasons.
Such as
Day
operations.
Operational.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Bishop? Yes. Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Unanimous.
You know, does anybody have anything else?
We have got electric service ran Wednesday up to the lookout. We've got our service pole set. We will not have that inspected until Tuesday. Once we get that inspected, then we're going to decide on our lighting, and we're going to work on that a few evenings, so
They even get Mike Shannon inspected for free?
he's not our inspector here.
He's not our inspector anymore.
He could do it, he's qualified.
Mr.
Qualified, not
Coy Need, I
authorized.
think, is
Yeah,
our.
Coy will be doing
We
that.
do have one more item, I think, Mr.
Yeah,
Clements.
Oh. What?
Would you got something for us today to take a look at?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
I was hoping it wasn't something else.
Getting the handcuffs.
I'm with you.
I was talking with the judge and several of you this past week. Sheriff's Office, we're looking into purchasing a drugs canine for the Sheriff's Office. Like we were talking earlier, and as we all well know, it's a problem with drugs nationwide and here in Marion County also. But we've been working with some neighboring counties with their canine units, Cole, Mercer, Nelson County, and other agencies, and doing some things with them. And we've decided that it's time for us to step up as the sheriff's office here and purchase our own canine. We have money in our drug account where we are expecting some seizure money to come in on some cases we have feds here in the very near future. But we have checked with a canine unit, it's called Alpha Canine Kennels, a Kentucky State Trooper that works with them, does canine. He raises, trains, and sells these dogs. So we're looking at him now, and we've actually got 2 dogs that he has that we're considering purchasing. And I also am looking at what they call Copper Creek Canine Training. The dogs we're really wanting are the ones that the state trooper is trying to looking to sell us. But just to kind of give you an idea, we're just in the same ballpark as far as the price range on these dogs, and that varies anywhere from $4,500 up to $6,000. So again, we're looking to purchase the dog. I wanted to share this with the fiscal court to see if any of the magistrates or whoever would be interested in applying some discretionary money or whatever you call it towards the purchase or supplying things we need equipment-wise and otherwise for the dog. Again, if you can do something for us, we certainly would appreciate it. Deputy Tristan Hayden is going to be the deputy that's going to go to training for this. It'll be in Casey County, and that's another key thing to this. We looked out of state at some other places too. We had a considerable more amount of money due to the training and travel. Staying here in Kentucky, local, we can do the training in Casey County. Looking at 3 weeks of training with that. So again, if you consider what we would have done if we went out of state, quite a bit more cost. So again, just lay that out there as to what we're looking at. Again, I appreciate anything the court can do for us. We will probably, we will be looking to other places in the county looking for some support with this. We've had others that have expressed that, so there may be the possibility of getting some other monies that way. Just to give you a general idea of what the total cost will be at this point as far as what we estimate. One dog we was looking at would be $5,000 for the dog and the trainer. The other dog we were looking at would be $6,000 for the dog and the trainer. My personal preference is the $6,000 dog based on the age of the dog versus the $5,000 dog, which is quite a bit older. Anybody that have worked with the canines, especially in law enforcement, can tell you that older dog, his life, not his life expectancy, but his career as far as doing what he does in law enforcement is a very short window there. So total with equipment, buying a kennel, things like that, we're probably looking anywhere from the $8,000 to $9,000 range.
Let me ask you a question, Jim. I
Yes,
thought
sir.
about something a while ago. Provided this dog shows up,
Yes, sir.
is there an insurance issue with the canine unit?
You know, and it's a good question. We talked about that today, some of my staff and I did, and I do not know, to tell you the truth. That's something I'm going to inquire into. For example, the dog gets shot in the line of duty, is severely injured, doing something.
Well, the other side is
I'm
it's a
talking about-
liability.
Yeah.
Jackie breaks in someone, the dog goes, gets him and tears Jackie up.
Yeah.
Jackie's not gonna like it.
Well, and I understand that, and I've talked to other sheriffs.
Sorry,
about it.
Jackie.
And the dog we're looking at, just so you know, the one dog we were looking at has already been trained. It would just be a matter of hooking him up with the handler as far as the training.
Yeah.
That dog is a narcotics dog, a tracking dog, and I guess what they call a bite dog in a sense, apprehension. So, we're not gonna go with that dog. I can tell you that now. The dog that we're looking at is a Labrador Retriever. He's a narcotics dog, and he will be a tracking dog. And the tracking dog, basically, what they tell me is that he would alert on crushed vegetation and human odor. And I'm still learning a little more about it. In 20 years, I've seen a lot of dogs work. Depending on what they're trained in, is as to what they can do is, kind of open there. But I've talked to several sheriffs that know Mr. Martin that runs this canine, and they speak of it highly. So our dog is more of a, for lack of better words, a social dog in a sense. He's looking for drugs, and that's what my main goal is with this dog, is to look for drugs.
What type?
Can he sniff out any drug or
He
particular
can-
drug?
He will be trained in marijuana, cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, and meth. And as the jail knows, and the others that are involved in emergency services, heroin and meth are two of our biggest problems currently. We're seeing a real uptick in that in Marion County. Of course, marijuana, cocaine, it's been around too, all those drugs, but heroin and meth are our real issues that we're seeing quite a bit more now, especially through our court systems.
I think, actually, I think it's an excellent idea. I'm glad to see you being proactive as far as trying to do something to address the drug issue, because, I think we all know families, and it's a sad situation. And I understand it's everywhere, but I'm sure most people are like me. You get tired of hearing that it's everywhere, because all we really care about is Marion County.
We care about Marion County.
I don't mean that wrong, but that's just a fact for most people, myself included. But I think it's a tremendous idea. I know that, number one, we need to be proactive. We need to go after anything that can do to help, okay? And number two is that if it helps bring in additional funds, and obviously I know other agencies that I work with from a business standpoint that actually bring in some very good funds, as well as vehicles and so forth. So,
And if I can add something to that, and Jalen Brady's not here, but just for example, working in your facilities, your jail facility here, that it may help where we could go in with the dog to help sniff out what drugs are in there, if any, or even do some random checks on it. I know when I worked in the corrections business, we did quite a bit of that, and again, the dogs are very good at helping us locate these things, because things change, as Mr. Masterson said, the criminals change, they get smarter, even though I think some of them are stupid, but I mean, they keep getting smarter about how they do business, and it helps to have another tool on our belt, such as canine.
I guess my question to the court is because I personally, I fully support it, I think it's a great idea. I think it's wonderful. I think you can also work with the schools out in the county as well. I mean, it's,
Don't wear the dog out.
well, I'm gonna tell you, I want it to be used. I mean, I think we all do, so. But my question to the court is that,
Nostrils up.
how do we want to go about this? Do you want to, from a,
Community,
If I could interrupt real quick on
contributions
that,
possibly?
Speaking with the folks with the kennel today, we talked about at what point do we need to make sure they've got the money when we do this. And he told me, he said, we trust you as far as what we're gonna do. We'll take care of this at the end of the process, which will be at the end of the training.
understand?
So, we're weeks out on that, so, once we start making purchases ourselves, if you guys want to see, more of the bottom line as far as the total cost, we can provide that to you. But again, I can pretty much guarantee you, so the total with the dog, equipment, everything, we're in the $8,000 to $9,000 range.
Well, that
You
dog,
might be surprised.
I think we're all on board with doing something, doing whatever needs.
will that dog live with Tristan since he's gonna be the handler?
He will be with Tristan. Tristan, young deputy, very energetic, and this is kind of in his line, the way his career is going with law enforcement. So we're excited to have him looking at doing that. And so it'll stay with him, he'll train with him, and anybody that's been working with canines before, they know that's what they do. I have a nephew who works for federal government. He does bomb dog at Reagan Airport in D.C. That dog's with him around the clock. They stay with him.
The 5,000 or 6,000, whichever dog and trainer, is that like for the trainer for so long to train the dog, or what's?
3 weeks.
We're not buying a trainer too, are we?
That's for the initial dog, the
Just
dog and the initial training.
Okay,
The training is constant with the canine.
right.
They have to recert every year. So we talked, again, I've talked with the Pulaski County Sheriff, for example, PD, and again, my friends over in Boyle and Mercer County, and, we'll be grouping up with them doing our annual recertification. And so we're looking at that, and that's just part of the package, okay?
Okay.
I also understand that there's a vet in Richmond, Kentucky that will provide all veterinarian services for the canine free of charge. So that's a, anybody that's worked with vets, that could be a very big deal.
Pets are expensive.
So, we would look at that, and I would also look locally, if any of our local vets, would want to step up and help us out with it. Again, we're not looking for a complete handout, but we're just wanting to do something, again, better for the county.
You need to talk to Keith Brock, he'll take a complete handout.
But he also gives back. I appreciate it, Keith. Thank you. So I guess to move forward, I would like to know where the magistrates stand as far as individual,
I don't know if we have to do it
Contributions.
individually, we got the contributions line item, and this could be in the contributions possibly.
it could, but I think it's more, since it's a direct county purchase, I think it would either be A, from the general fund, or B, from the project development fund.
Which we don't know the total due to, you don't know what you're gonna get from.
Well, I think that my point here, Judge, is that what I'm willing to do is make a motion up to the dollar amount that Sheriff Clements has agreed to, as we do on several occasions.
Is that something
We
that's
gotta
okay
know
with
how much
you?
he's got.
What's that?
Are you certain enough about the dollar amount that if we make a motion up to a certain dollar amount, you can live with that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, yeah.
How much
that's
have you
what-
already-
Because again, whether you guys help us or not, and great if you do, we're gonna make it happen. Again, we're gonna have some money come down the road.
Sheriff, I didn't you say at the beginning, all right.
Hey, listen,
Anybody got
MTA,
anything else? Motion to adjourn, did I hear that? I'm sorry.
At the beginning, you guys,
I think you said enough, Sheriff.
How much do you have, Jimmy, and how much do you need?
I currently have access to, I know $1,600. We've got $2,000 in our drug fund that's tied up in something else at the moment. So we could easily turn $2,000 or $3,000 around that quick to take care of it. Again, we have cases that are tied up in federal court. I just spoke with drug enforcement agents, and we're hoping to get some money out of that in the very near future. What it's going to be,
Here's my thought, is that you've got 2,000 or 3,000, whatever, in your drug fund. That's great. I'd like to see it be 30,000 or 300,000. So my thought is that leave that money alone, because I would love to see you use that money for other drug activities, whether it be purchases, buys, whatever it might be, or whatever you're allowed to do. So I would like to see you keep that money, utilize that. The other side of that is that you're going to have ongoing expenses with this canine. So that would leave you at least a little seed money in there to help you out with that and help you grow that fund, as opposed to, and I appreciate the offer, but I just think from a business standpoint, we'd be best, I think you'd be better, we'd all be better out.
It's bad
So I
to
guess
go broke.
Yeah, so the bottom line here is that I agree with Master improving up to the $9,000 mark, up to that amount.
Was that the,
Yeah. So the question I have is that where will we be removing the money from?
Where could
And I guess we-
from, Pitt?
Contribution line item in the general fund.
Okay.
yeah, that's why I suggested contribution.
Line item budget for that, except for.
This is definitely a community activity.
Yes, it is. Oh, absolutely. It's a tremendous opportunity and a great, of course, we're going to hold you accountable too, Sheriff, so. We've got it on, got the news and the.
You have to promise one thing, or don't bring the dog to court. He might start going towards somebody. Sorry, Jackie.
Motion to approve up to $9,000 expenditure for the drug canine for the Sheriff's Department out of the contributions line item?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Judd?
Yes.
Mr. Mash?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Hey, Jimmy, does
Thank you, gentlemen.
the
Thank you.
city have one also? Don't they have?
Yes.
What's that?
City does have one, yes.
Yes, they do.
I was,
And since you asked, and I'm glad that you actually asked that, because that's one thing for folks in the community go, well, the city's got one, why can't they use that?
no, it's city.
That's all well and fine, but when 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a call, or deputy gets a call, we need a dog, we need that dog then.
But you gotta have a
Yeah,
handler.
I can't
What doesn't
worry about another agency bringing it in. And that's the problems we've had also dealing with other agencies, is they tell me, says, if you need us, call us. When I call, they're like,
Thing
Can't
too,
find them?
when you tell me this dog staying with somebody, if you use it, if two people use it.
They're in a reasonable time period, and if you don't,
What's that reasonable time period?
it's not 20 and 30 minutes.
It's shorter?
be more like
Oh,
20, 30 seconds now.
Yes.
are you
You
serious?
gotta have them there.
Plus you gotta have the handler with them.
The
I mean,
search will get thrown out if it's not a reasonable time period.
Well, that sucks.
So again, that's where we're going with this, with dealing with other agencies, that we have to have, an immediate response on it, number one, and it's like the situation we had out for Bradford, on the other side of Bradford the other night, sometimes you gotta go, you can't wait too long, you gotta go. You got shorts
It's on and flip flops.
and flip-flops.
I heard that, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else got anything?
No.
MTA.
Second. Let's stop now before the leaking keeps going.
Yeah, we paid the bills.